Is TaxDome the right practice management software for your accounting firm? The short answer is maybe, but we personally love it. And in this video, we wanted to talk about why we think it might be the right software for your firm and what we recommend and how you might be able to utilize this in your accounting firm to really help you streamline those processes and just make everything run a little bit smoother. So why do we say maybe? The reason is every firm is incredibly unique and different. We work with dozens of firms all the time, and you have to decide for yourself what truly matters when it comes to software that you're going to invest in and the time that it's going to take to make sure that you're doing it right. So we have worked with dozens, if not hundreds of different softwares throughout our 20-ish years working in accounting, operations, with corporate world, with small businesses, medium, large-sized businesses. We've worked with so many different platforms over our lifespan, and we know a thing or two about what works and what doesn't. So we have been the accountants working with these different softwares. We've been the managers managing them. We've been on project teams implementing them. We've designed workflows for nearly 15 years. We've worked with large and small IT firms that are designing the softwares and accounting firms that are implementing them. And all that to say, like I said, we know a thing or two about softwares, about implementing them, about implementing workflows into your business, about creating and building lasting programs for your business, what works, what doesn't. And at the end of the day, we're pretty picky about what we invest our time and energy in, and we want you to be too. We have helped so many different types of companies, not just accounting firms, but we have worked across a broad spectrum of different industries, and we know really what works and what doesn't and what to look for when it comes to implementing a new software, implementing new workflows. And the simple answer is that everyone does have their preferences. There's going to be pros and cons to everything. But what we find to be unique to TaxDome is how much it is able to do all in one. That is something that we don't see a lot of in working, in our history, in our corporate life, and working with all these different industries. It's not something that we see every day. And we've been working with TaxDome for years and years now. And there are some reasons that we love it and that we choose to work with it. And we wanted to share at least some of those with you as you're probably deciding what the right software is for your firm. So one of the first things I already mentioned is how much they do all in one. It truly, truly does so much. You have your standard workflows, the automations that come with them. You're able to do e-signatures, invoicing, document storage, have a client portal. They even have a website builder that you may not have heard of. There's so much inside of this software that you can do so much for your firm, which does allow you to get rid of a lot of other programs that you might be spending money on. And just to have it all in one place makes things easier, not just from a financial sense, but also easier for your firm to implement, easier for you to manage and oversee, and easier for you to streamline and make things just more efficient overall. We also do love that they continue to improve and build upon their product pretty quickly. They take in a lot of user feedback, and they're constantly trying to not just improve the way that the existing features work, but to find out what the true needs are from accounting firms and to continue to implement new features. And that's something that we find to be really important because they do take that user feedback and they're implementing it inside of their technology. Another feature that is newer in TaxDome, but we're really excited as it continues to kind of improve and grow, is the reporting feature, which does really allow you to have and create different reports that you need to help to effectively manage your firm. There's also the tool inside the insights that can give you a really quick snapshot in the day-to-day as you're just working inside of TaxDome. Where are things at? Where's your team at? Where are your clients at? What do you need to get a pulse on? And you can grab some of those things really quickly. We also love the ability to delegate in there, so your entire team can get in there and you can use different roles. So your admins can be in there, as well as your accountants, your bookkeepers, your tax pros. Everyone can be in there. They can have different roles, and you can effectively manage it within there while assigning them and allowing them to work within their specific roles. And also the communication that's within there. And they keep building this out even more, but your ability to communicate within your team, that's really grown. They've incorporated chats recently. just within internal, and then also the ability to communicate with your client. So they've obviously got the email, but they also have the chat feature and a lot of other things that you can do just inside of the client portal. That's where you can have them pay their invoices, you can have them sign things, fill out their organizers, etc. And so it really gives that seamless communication to your client, but also gives you the ability to communicate pretty seamlessly within your team as well. Is it easy to use? This is a question we get pretty often. So I'd say, to be honest, this probably depends. Some people are very techie and some people are completely not at all. And most people probably fall somewhere in the middle. So with most softwares that we use, it can take a little bit of time to adjust to the way things work in TaxDome, what the different lingo is and where to find everything, navigation. And then because it does so much, that can take a little bit of time to learn everything and then use it effectively. But what we recommend within TaxDome is just because it does A to Z doesn't mean you have to use A to Z right away. And so you getting in there and kind of just starting to navigate, starting to learn things on your own, starting to test things out is a really good way to start to understand how you can utilize it in your firm and where you want to start first, because you don't have to do everything at first. You can just kind of grow, start with one thing, add on another. You can just start to kind of snowball it to where eventually you're using so much of that functionality. You don't have to start that way. And so, when you start small and you prioritize and you're using certain features within TaxDome, your comfort grows, which then kind of over time, and you can do this quickly or slowly, it's up to you. You can really start to grow your knowledge, grow your team's knowledge, and utilize it more and more. Of course, there are people like us who can help you along the way. So whether you want to join an existing program where you get trainings and templates, all the how-tos of how to use TaxDome, and then, the exact tools so that you can create your workflows, all of that. We do have a program like that. We also offer complete builds. So if you want someone to come in and just completely build out your TaxDome workflows, your automations, all of that for your team, we do that as well. We incorporate training for your team and help you along the change curve so that way your team's really part of that process from the beginning. We offer that as well. But that is something that you can do internally. You want to take the time, you want to do it right, and you want to get it set up really ideally before tax season, before your busy period, so that you can utilize as much as possible out of that system and feel comfortable doing it. So at the end of the day, your question, is it worth it? Is it the right system to your firm? And like I said, it does depend on the needs of your firm, probably the size of your firm even, although really TaxDome can be, if you're a small firm, solo practitioner or large, it really does work with all these different sizes. But I would recommend just talking to someone who does know TaxDome, probably someone independent of TaxDome, whether that's another accounting firm utilizing TaxDome, or if you want to reach out to us and you can message us or you can set up a call and we can talk about it. We are independent consultants who help design, build, and implement TaxDome workflows to help accounting firms to really not just automate, but streamline their practices, because we want you to have a more streamlined tax season, busy periods. We want all that to be easier, but it's also nice to have someone that you can talk to make sure that, you have a good understanding of how this might work for your firm. And we are, like I said, we are independent. And so if you wanted to set up that time to talk to us, we would be happy to walk you through, pros, cons, and how we think this might work for your firm. At the end of the day, though, like I said, is it worth it? Is it the right tool for your firm? We love it. We highly recommend it to most of the accountants that we come across and work with, but it may not be perfect for everyone. So let's have that discussion. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to share those here. Or if you want to set up some time with us to discuss, we're happy to do that as well.